my channel. If you're new, my name is Sarah. I'm 35 years old. I'm currently pregnant with my second child. I have a 12-month-old daughter currently, and this is going to be our second baby. So I haven't actually done a proper announcement on my channel yet. I also haven't done any updates, so I thought I'd best do one now because I really wanted to do pregnancy updates for this pregnancy because I didn't really do them for Alice. I think I filmed a few but I never actually uploaded them, so I thought I would do some for this baby. So I am currently 15 weeks pregnant, so I thought I would do a first trimester update. So I'm going to do it from 0 to 13 weeks. I'm going to tell you about my symptoms, my appointments that I've had so far, stuff like that, show you my scan pictures, and also I thought I would also tell you how I found out I was pregnant and stuff like that. Okay, so I found out I was pregnant on the 1st of October. The reason why I thought I might be pregnant was because my period was actually over 3 weeks late, which is quite a lot. Although I do have PCOS, so sometimes I can miss a period and sometimes it can be quite late, but I was starting to feel really sick and nauseous, which was the same way I felt when I was pregnant with Alice, so I thought I'd better get a pregnancy test and check. Now, I didn't tell my husband I was getting a pregnancy test because he was at work and I couldn't wait for him to get home, so I just went and bought one, did it, and I wasn't expecting it to be positive, and it was. It was a bit of a shock, especially because I had such a young child already, and when we were trying for Alice we were actually told that it was unlikely we would be able to conceive naturally because I very rarely ovulate, so to get pregnant unexpectedly without trying was a big shock because it took us over a year to get pregnant with Alice. So it was a big surprise, but a great surprise because we always wanted 2 children and we weren't sure if we were going to be able to have another one. So we were, well, I was really excited at that point and I hadn't told Lawrence, so he was at work till quite late I think that day. I don't think he got home until about 9-10 o'clock at night. So when he got home I showed him the pregnancy test and he was very shocked. He definitely was not expecting it at all, but we were both very excited because we really wanted 2 children. Also a little worried that they were going to be so close in age and how I would cope, but we were very, very excited. So the next day after we had done the first pregnancy test, we thought we'd better buy a couple more tests just to make sure that we were definitely pregnant and it wasn't a mistake. So we decided to buy the clear blue digital ones, the ones that can tell you how many weeks pregnant you are. So I think we bought a 2-pack from Boots. I think they're about £10, something like that. So we bought a 2-pack, went home, tried them, and they both came up pregnant. One came up pregnant 3+ weeks and the other one came up 2 to 3 weeks pregnant. So we weren't quite sure, obviously because I don't ovulate properly the way I should, it's hard to tell exactly when we would have felt pregnant and what the dates were, so we weren't quite sure. So if you go off a normal period cycle, I think I should have been around 8 weeks, something like that. I'm not quite sure. So once we'd found out, we went to the doctors because it's not too far from where we live and went to book a midwife appointment. So I think that appointment was for around the 16th of November. So we went then and we did the booking in stuff, so she took my blood, stuff like that. So it wasn't too long after I'd found out I was pregnant that all the pregnancy symptoms started. The morning sickness was horrendous. I was so ill. I felt so nauseous constantly, just all the time, all day. Just felt so ill. I was sick every single morning. It was just terrible. I just felt so ill. It was really hard as well when you've got a little baby, well, she's not little, but a young child to look after and feeling that ill every day. Luckily I wasn't in work because I don't know if I would have coped. But I did have the sort of similar symptoms with Alice, the nausea, but I think sometimes maybe when you're at work and you're busy it takes your mind off it, whereas if you're at home all day maybe you seem to feel it more, I'm not sure, but I definitely was worse I think this time round. I also had really sore boobs as well, they were really tender and sore. But I think that was it really for symptoms. It was just really, really bad morning sickness and nausea, really sore breasts. Also, one other symptom was tiredness. Like, I was so exhausted all the time. I was just shattered. So that was another really big symptom as well during the first trimester. I was just absolutely exhausted all the time. So yeah, that was a symptom that I found really, really difficult, just the absolute tiredness, so exhausted just all the time. And yeah, I think that was it. There wasn't really anything else other than that. Oh, actually, one thing, another symptom actually that I always forget to mention was anxiety. The same happened with Alice when I was pregnant. I didn't like going out. Whenever I went out, I would like be panicky and start like choking, and it's horrible. So I actually ended up not really going out on my own once I found out I was pregnant. I'd only go out if it was with Lawrence or my parents. And also my bladder got really, really bad as well. I already have a bladder condition, so being pregnant always makes it worse. So it was just really, really bad. Another reason why I didn't like going out on my own. So yeah, they were my main symptoms. So it was terrible nausea, morning sickness, sore breasts, and constant urination, and just really bad anxiety about going out of the house. So far in this pregnancy I haven't had any bleeding. When I was pregnant with Alice, I did have some bleeding around 9 weeks, and I did actually go to the hospital with it, and they said it could possibly have been placenta implantation. But with this pregnancy I've had absolutely no bleeding whatsoever, which has been really good. So our 12-week scan was booked for the 5th of November, I think it was originally. So we went to that one, and when we got there they said that we were actually only 10 weeks pregnant, so they weren't able to do the nuptial screening test that they wanted to do, so that we'd have to come back in 2 weeks. So we did get a picture though, so I can show you the picture that we got. So this was the picture. I don't know how well you can see it. Just come a bit closer. There we go. So that was the picture. So that is the baby at 10 weeks. Yes, so they booked us another scan for 2 weeks after that. So I think that was about the 19th of November. So yeah, at that scan she told us that I was about, I think 12 weeks, 5 days, something like that. So I've got a new due date now, which is the 29th of May. So I also got a scan picture at that one. It's really it's not very clear, it's a really bad picture. But we've got one, so I'll just show it you. So that is the picture of the baby at about 12 weeks, 5 days or 3 days, I can't quite remember what she said. Yeah, so after that scan I had to go for some blood tests for the nuptial screening, and I don't know why, but every time I go for these blood tests they can never get any blood out of me, and they have to try it so many times, and because they tried so many times I ended up feeling really faint, so I had to lie down, have some water. Then the midwife, I'm not sure if it's midwives that do it or but anyway, the person, they have to go and get another person to try get it out. They tried in my hand, but eventually they did get some out, and I didn't faint. So luckily they managed to get some blood out of me for the tests, and that is for like to check for Down syndrome and stuff like that. So I also had to go for another appointment. This was for a BMI appointment. Because I have a high BMI, I had to go for a BMI clinic appointment. So at that appointment, it was actually really quick. They didn't really do much. He said, oh, you've had a baby recently, haven't you, so you should already know everything. And he said, I'm just going to book you in for a scan at 32 weeks, I think it was. Yeah, so I'm going to book you in for an extra scan at 32 weeks just so we can check the size of the baby. So they booked me in for another scan at 32 weeks. It's at a different hospital than I normally go to. It's a bit annoying because it's hard to get to. So I've got one booked for then, and I think it's in April sometime. So yeah, I've just received a date for my 20-week scan, which is middle of November. So I'm thinking I'll probably do my next pregnancy update after I've had that scan, so I can show you the picture. Also at that one I'm hoping we can find out the sex of the baby, so I'll be able to tell you that in my next update as well. Yeah, so I hope you have enjoyed this little pregnancy update, and I will try and be a bit better at uploading these now. I'll try and do it every few weeks. So the next one will be at 20 weeks, because that's when I got my next scan, and then probably a few weeks later as well, and then I'll probably start showing you my bump. I'm not going to show it you yet because it's not that much difference really, so I think I will show you at 20 weeks will be the first time I'll show you the bump. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.